Hi everybody, it's Joni at Granny J Clay, and I mentioned in my last video that I may be doing the hooks for my little snowballs, snowball ornaments really. And so I'll show you this one, and maybe I did before, but it's hooked onto the yarn in here. Now I have made most of my newest pom-poms with zip ties, so I wouldn't have the yarn to go in on. Let's see if this is it. No, that's not one of them. I think most of these are just yarn. So I'm glad that I have yarn on these. It just, I suppose, depends on what you're making. It's a little bit easier to get under the yarn than it is to get under a zip tie that's really, really, really tight. But I love my zip ties. They worked wonderfully. So that's what I said I would do, and I am going to finish these off. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to do. And with this it would make 6. So I'll show you how I do it, and this is my wire that I had ordered that came in, and it's a 12 gauge artistic wire, so it's pretty moldable, which is really, really great for this. All right, so let me move this aside and I'll be right back. All right, I have cut off about 8 inches for me to make my next hook. And you can make them any way you want to. And you can twist these once they're on there, which I did to make it face forward. So let's see how this goes. I will show you what I did for this one. I just guessed. I took a guess. I have this acrylic roller that I use for my clay. Perfect roundness for this particular project. So what I'm going to do, well, I think what I'll do first is roll this in a little bit. The tip, I'm going to roll it in. So let's try that first. I want to roll this in a little bit before I start playing with it. So I think I'll make it this smaller, or this larger one, I'm sorry. And I'm just going to take it, I'm going to hold it right there, and I'm going to roll this around, just like that. So it meets the other side, like that. It doesn't touch it exactly, but it's close. Then, because I want it on the inside, I don't want it on the outside. I'd rather have it on the inside. You can put it on the outside if you want to. I'm going to roll this around here like this. So hang on. I'm just going to bend it around. Bring it around. Bring it around. I'm going to hold it with 2 hands. And I'm going to bring it so it almost touches here. So can you see that? I'll lay it down so you can kind of look at it. And I'm going to flatten it a little bit. Okay, now on this one, I'll show you. I came down and around, and I went in on that one as well. At the end, I had to turn it to hook onto the yarn that's wrapped around this pom-pom to keep it together. So let's see how this works. You're finding out with me a little bit because, let's see, maybe I'll go about here. You don't want to go real close because you've got all the fuzz, you know, to work with. You want it to be up a little ways so you can see it, see the hook a little bit more. And I want the bigger part. This is a Wubbers plier, and so I'm going to hold it here, and since I'm coming in with it, there, I'll show you that way. I'm just kind of guesstimating where I might want that hook. Maybe down a little bit further. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to roll this around, if I can get my hands on it the right way. Okay, this is easier for me to do it with this way. So I'm going to take it and I'm going to bring it around. And I bent this a little bit too. Okay, so you can see it like that. There you go. Now what I'm going to do is, since I've got a hold of it, I'm going to cut. I didn't know how much I'd need for sure because I didn't measure when I did the first one. Yep, confession. So let me just cut this about right there. And put that over there. Okay. Now I'll bring it back up since it's falling down. Let me see if I want to do more than that. Yeah, I do. I want to do more than that. I don't know why I cut just that much off. So I'll cut it here. Okay. Get that out of the way. Let's see. Bring this back in so you can kind of see that one a little bit. And now I'm going to take it and I'm going to roll it in. Actually, I'm pushing on the top part right here and pushing it in. And that's looking like it's a little bit big. And it is. I'm pushing this up. Do you see how moldable that is? Malleable, I guess is maybe the word to use. Now I'm going to bring this around a little bit more. So I'm going to bring this around rather than twist this bottom part too much. So here we go. Bring it around like that. Now you can fix this a little bit the way you want it once you're done with it. Like I said, this is a very malleable wire. So, okay, so that's that. Let's see if I can get that onto, if you want to, you can keep it straight and then bend it once you have it on. I'm looking for my tied yarn down here, and there it is. And I'm going to see if I can just sneak this through. And you know what I might do? I might bring it back out. That just might be the thing to do. You're kind of learning with me. I did that one kind of quickly, and that's where the knot is. So I'm going to just kind of slide sideways, push this out a little bit. See how you can bend that? I love this kind of wire. Of course, it's not the best for other things that you might want to do where you want the wire to really stay firm. So, okay, so I got it through. If you can see that, I got it through where the yarn was that I used to tie around the pom-pom when I made it. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold the bottom down here and I'm going to twist it like this and kind of push it back this way a little bit. And there I have it. And I want to make sure this is closed enough. And I think what I'm going to do is maybe bring that in a little bit. Tighten it, tighten this piece down here, up closer. And so this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to grab both sides and just bring it up like that. Okay, so there we have another one. We have two. Pretty easy peasy, aren't they? I think the holes are a little bit different here. This one's smaller, that one's a little bigger. So that's the way you can do that. Not cute? That's really easy. Of course, you could tie a ribbon around it. You could tie another piece of yarn. I did that with one of these. I've got an extra one. And I tied yarn around it. And it looks cute. There's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. This happens to be a smaller snowball than the rest of them. But I just think this adds something, and it's really cute. It'll be cute on a Christmas tree or wherever you want to hang it. So I'm going to cut another 8-inch one. And I'm going to just take my wire and I'm going to straighten it a little bit with my nylon plier. Just kind of hold it a little bit and straighten it a little bit. Then I've got more toward me. I have a long yardstick taped to my table. So I'm going to take it back. I'm going to measure out 8 inches approximately. That seemed to be fairly good. I want to leave myself a little bit of room to kind of play with. Okay, so here I have this one again. And what I want to do is come back in, and I'm going to turn this in again. Let's see if I can show you a little bit better here. I get right to the end. Now I'm bringing my wire up. Do you see that? Up and around like that. So they're almost touching or are touching, depending on how close you are to it. So that's what we have right now. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to take this again, and I'm going to hold this right here. Maybe come down a little bit. Hold this right here, and I'm going to bring the wire around. Now, you could find something at home to use if you don't have an acrylic roller. Something that, you know, is approximately the size you want or you need. I have a mallet over here, a wooden mallet. I could have used the stem of the mallet, the handle of the mallet, but this was a little bit bigger. Okay, so I've got that done now. And here we are again. I've got another hook. They're not all identical, but they're very close. All right, now I'm going to figure out here where I want to, I'm going to have to cut some of that off again. Okay, so maybe about right there. Yeah, about right there. Okay, now I'm going to bring this up before I cut it. Okay, like that. In fact, I might just bring it all the way over before I cut it, kind of like that. Can you see what I've done there? If this wire were not this malleable, I couldn't do that. But this is wonderful wire. Again, it's 12 gauge that I ordered off the internet. Okay. I think what I'm going to do is cut it about right here. Oh, there goes my phone. I forgot to turn it off. Sorry, guys. All right, I'm going to take this off. It's too hard to cut when I have it on that. Just give it a snip. And then I'm going to bring it back in a little ways. It doesn't have to be a perfect round one here. Well, maybe I won't bring it in until I have it on. We'll do Hope next. I got to finger down in there and find where my... And you don't want it off to the side here, so you have to be careful that you line it up with the word if you have these. So there it is right there, if you can see it. Yep, there it is. So I'm going to just kind of, I think I will bring it out just a little bit with my finger again, and then we'll come in, hook it, which I did, and then last time I closed it up a little bit. See how I hooked that? So I think I'll close it up again, like that. Okay, there we go. Now I'm going to hold the bottom and I'm going to turn it. So let me just hold this bottom part, and now I'm going to turn this that way so it hangs the right way. And there you have another hook. Easy peasy. Isn't that easy? So easy. All right, I'll do one more for you on camera. I have something else I wanted to show you too. But right at this point, I'm waiting for it to dry. So I will probably be back on after a little while. Again, I'm going to measure off about 8 inches. Well, first I want to make it a little bit more smooth here. I ordered myself a new nylon plier. I have an old one, and it works pretty good. I sanded down this part because I had used it so much, and it had really gotten worn out. So I sanded these two things, and it did work pretty well, actually. And it still does pretty well, but this new one works a little better. And I'm pausing here for just a second because I am turning off my phone so you don't hear all the dings. Not sure who I'm getting info from, but okay. Sorry about that. All right, so let's just take this and I'm going to straighten it just a little bit. Anyway, there we go. Move those off to the side. Take it over here. Cut about 8 inches. Let's see. I was going to tell you, when you cut, if you'll notice this plier, if you cut this way, it'll get a flush cut. If you cut this way, it'll cut at an angle. And so depending on where you want to cut and how you want it. I want to have the flush cut here on this end and on this end. So that I was very careful with how I used the plier when I did that. Okay, so let's grab this and kind of roll it in. I'm bringing in the wire like that. There we go. Take it off. And you know, you could do a lot of curly Q things. Now we're gonna bring the wire around. So let's try to do this so you can see it more easily. Hold it there, bring it around, and it's basically touching, if you can see that right there. Okay, then I'm going to take it off, and I'm going to flip it this way just because it's easier for me to do. So that's what we've got so far. That's pretty good so far. And I come out, I would say that I'm coming out maybe a 1/2 inch or so. Maybe about a 1/2 inch. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to push this toward it. Okay. Oh, I made that too short, you guys. I made it too short. Too short. Okay, let me come back in with this. I'm going to straighten it out because you can fix it. Yeah, that was too short. So I'm going to come out a little bit further here. That's more like 1 inch. Much more like 1 inch. You know, this isn't an exact science for me. I kind of just play until I get it right, or where I want it, should I say that maybe? All right, I'm going to bring this one over, and I'm going to bring it over until it passes in front, like that. And I'm seeing that it's down a little low, so I'm going to roll it up just a little bit. Okay, I can always cut a little bit more off. All right, and I'm going to take that off of there. And I'm going to cut this off with the flush cutter right about there. Okay. And then I'm going to push that in a little, and I'm going to bring it down a little bit. All right, so then here is piece, the word piece. Again, poke your finger in, find where you tie it around your pom-pom. Okay, and then I'm going to go in. I should straighten that out again a little bit, or at least release it a little bit so I can come in and hook onto that piece of yarn that's going around my pom-pom, just like that. Okay, and then I'm going to close it up a little bit. And this one is turned the right way, because I think this snowball was put on a little bit differently than those. So you have to adjust. You know how that is. You have to adjust. So there we go. There we go with another one. And I don't know that well, maybe I can close it a little bit. A little bit. Yeah. Okay. You can puff up your thing. Your snowball. I just love these. I like to feel them. I'm very tactile. Can you tell? Okay. I have one more to do. And I'll do that off camera. And then if my other little project is dry, I'll show you what I was up to. All right, that's all. I know it wasn't very much, but it was something. I'll see you in a little bit. Bye-bye.